you're never going to see 600 meters. You don't need a $5,000 rifle to take a 50-meter shot. But you're going to find shit's going to change up here in the mountains, boys. Team, sometimes I think we've been lied to. Worst case, best case is we just have been lying to ourselves. I want to talk to you about, at least my opinion, thoughts and experiences on what may or may not make a good battle rifle. Why is this one my preferred choice? It's obviously not a 5.56. It obviously costs some extra dollars for Dose tax stamps. But there's a reason, right? So 5.56 is a great round. It's battle tested, and it does really good damage on the human body, at least psychologically, if not physically. But it is a little bit smaller than a 300, and obviously with the 300 I can slow it down and make it subsonic, and that's important to me because then I don't have to worry about shooting indoors without hearing protection. I don't have to worry about blowing families' eardrums off. Not least of which is, you know, if you're out here, it can be a little bit harder depending on your distance to determine direction. But on that note, like, how far can you actually see out in the woods? I dropped a community post as well as on Instagram to guess a distance for a target that we're going to shoot at today, and I heard everything from 25 meters to 400, and I think somebody even said 600 meters. So now we got this orange can set up. It's a 2-gallon bucket. Let's go ahead and move away and get into position. All right, so how far away are we gonna go? Where are we gonna get holed up from? And are we gonna stay in the same position for a couple shots? Paying attention to pace count? Are you paying attention to time that it's taking for me to get across? How far are we now? Just based off of nothing but time. What's interesting is people believe, you know, that long distance shooting is the way to go. But as we're going to prove as we work up here to this position, it's not always the case. Me and Riggs, we just hiked our asses up all the way to the top of the ridge again and back down, having good times. Time for some cold fucking beer, I'll tell you that much. All right, so here we are in position. Yeah, baby. Could you see where I was at? You can't. 50 meters away. That's all it takes to be deadly when you're out here in the real freaking world. Right, something that you need more than anything else, one could argue, and break some things down as far as what you may need and what you may not need. Like, first off, like if you go watch any of the big names, like they're all using big dollar products, right? We're talking, you know, $2,000-3,000 rifles and carbines, and then $2,000 freaking optics, and probably $2,000 worth of Hooyah gear that's attached to it. So that's the first thing I want to submit to you, especially like if you don't have a current battle rifle, or if you just want to rethink and retool, maybe refit what you currently have. And I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts, team. Like, what is your battle rifle and why? So this particular one, base price, I want to say is $800 retail. I bought it for like $350 used. And then obviously we changed out the upper, and that brought me to a total of about $800 at the end of the day. Different bolt carrier group, different upper, 800 bucks, right? I think the EOTech runs $400 or $500, and obviously the can is about $1,000. Light, totally not needed for situations out here, but you know, it's a couple $100. So obviously you got to pay for backup iron sights, and I have a larger charging handle as well, and the stock is different. But I may have $1, $2, maybe $2,300 invested in this total, and compare that to, you know, $2,300 base rifle before you start putting anything else on it. So there's no, in the southeast, unless you're in a valley that has been cleared or it's for crops and it's a farm, you're never going to see 600 meters. Like out here in these woods, man, you're lucky to see, you're guaranteed you're not going to see jack shit past 75 meters out here. Like, it's just not going to happen. Between the microterrain and the vegetation, you would have to draw a line between your eyeballs and this object would have to be so fine-tuned, it's ridiculous. Even shooting 50 meters to get a clear shot, I have to move left and right just for 50 meters. It's only going to compound the further and further and further that you get away. So here we are, man, you know, 50 meters away. That's it. 50 meters. If you're not moving at 50 meters, you're not going to see anything. Let that sink in, right? So again, taking it back to this platform, like, I don't care about shooting 600-700 meters, right? Especially not for a point target. All I care about, based off of where I live at, is being able to shoot 3 pushing 400 meters, right? That gets me in those areas where it is a little bit more of a farmland, which there are some up and down my valley. But all I ultimately care about is less than 150 meters, less than 100 meters. And in all reality, less than 75 meters. As we've proven here is the case for me, right? I don't live in a desert. I don't live in the Mountain West where I have nothing but crags and long distance, you know, bighorn sheep shots. You don't need a $5,000 rifle to take a 50-meter shot. accurately. And even more than all of this, what I would submit to you is get off of the flat range, man. Things are going to change and you're going to learn more once you can get into some terrain. You can still work in flat. You can learn a lot because you got vegetation. Right? Don't just go clear an area and call that your range. Set up some targets. Find an area where you have a good backdrop. Set up some targets. Know your left and your right lateral limits. And experiment. Shooting uphill, shooting downhill, shooting through the brush. See if you can make those badass flat range shots. Do some movement. Have some fun. But you're going to find shit's going to change up here in the mountains, boys. It ain't the same as on them flatlands. So I think we're going to pack it up. Again, team, I'm looking forward to hearing what you think down in the comments below as we all continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. Were you right on how far away that we ended up being? Or were you wrong? And if you were wrong, do you understand why that you were wrong? So let me hear it, team. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!